What's up, everybody? It's another edition of Youff Sportz, and I am your host, Hopagampele. I do have Mr. Flex on him, got the Zazas on, got the coat on, even a chain that's matching the wash. What?
It's good to be here.
He is Sports and Cheetah, Gaga CFM's. If I say number one, and then she's gonna come here next week, and then
I'm here now, so I mean,
he said what he said, allegedly. And then I have, of course, from you got that joke, right? You got that joke. Thank you. Zeus. One of us did. And we also have Ubaba, as I always say, Tobacco, all the way from DYR.
Feels good to be back, guys.
Thank you so much for joining me. And I think locally, I am personally so tired of talking about this man week after week, but he is the man of the moment.
Yeah.
Benny Mccarth. He won again. He was gifted with Coach of the Month for last month, as well as Goalkeeper of the Season, Uveli. So things are going well there by Amazulu.
yeah, I think well deserved for both the coach and Uveli. I mean, if you look at Amazulu, since March and April, they played 8 games. Magwana Lama came out 8. They beat SuperSport United, go 1-0. They drew Mamelodi Sundowns, go 0-0, and won the other 6 games. So, I mean, collecting 13 points,
Come here with the spreadsheets.
and only conceding 2 goals, which is hence why it's the coach and the goalkeeper, because you look at the
Defense
like
side
the goals they conceded, Amakola too. So that's something to be proud of for Usuts and for Benny Mccarth as well. I think doing it back to back, man.
Yeah.
But sorry, Mbambo, but also just coming back from a loss from Ibaroka as well. Is that confidence still there as we continue with the league?
I know, look, end of the day, you have to lose some football matches. You won't win them all, you know what I mean? But like Usamkelo said, you know what I mean? Back to back, a Coach of the Month awards, you know what I mean? It says a lot about Coach Benny Mccarth. He came at the club, Amazulu, he brought in some Midas touch. Whatever open he touches turns into gold. I mean, at Cape Town City, we know he was a great coach, but unfortunately, he had a fallout with, the hierarchy, John committees. Amazulu came through, gave him an opportunity. And he proved himself. He's actually one of the best young coaches in the country. Now imagine season Amazulu. Probably Amazulu were going to be crowned champions come end of the season, you know what I mean? But you can't really cry over Ubiso Selkitegile. But Benny Mccarth is the future. Unfortunately, Bafana, they missed the trick with the coach Benny Mccarth. But I mean, what can we say? Very much since he joined Amazulu from Chipe United. He's been immense. Yeah. He's been massive, you know what I mean? Keeping him clean sheets, like Usamkelo said. That's, if a goalkeeper work is solid, that confidence, you know what I mean? It spreads throughout the back line because the defense know, even if you can beat us, but it's not monster way to, protecting us is the last line of defense. So, well done to Amazulu Football Club coach Benny Mccarth and his, trusted soldier, Velimoto.
Speaking of having monsters and beasts at the back when it comes to a goalkeeper, let's look at Mr. Tatasi the Peshea. The game against the FA Cup final against Leicester City and Man City. For me, one of my highlights was definitely Ukipa or Schmeichel. Yeah. So many saves when it came to Leicester City, and for me, definitely one of my highlights. But let's talk about the final.
Look, I'm a Chelsea fan. I have to admit I'm disappointed, you know what I mean? But end of the day,
Chelsea.
I'm a football fan before I'm a Chelsea fan, you know what I mean? I always say this.
I was so happy. Sorry, I said Man City. I meant Chelsea because I'm thinking of the Man City and Chelsea game that's coming up with the Champions League's final. Yeah. But I am so happy that Chelsea got that they got with the 1 goal that they had. They had a few chances as well. I know Alonso gave a header.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't happening until the second half of the game.
Yeah, no, look, like I said, you know what I mean? It's unfortunately, it's just one of those games. I mean, Chelsea dominated the match, created, I think, 15 opportunities.
Yeah.
I mean, they had like 7 on target. Leicester City,
As well.
Leicester City created like 3, had like 2 shots on target, you know, but they scored. And what a beauty from, Yuri Telemann, you know what I mean? Those type of goals, they win.
That was a beautiful goal. I
They
mean,
win
like,
you
it
football
came
matches.
to him. He went straight left, top corner. They didn't have a chance.
It was a strike worthy of winning any final, you know what I mean? But I guess, you know, it was a blessing in disguise for Chelsea because they have a massive encounter coming up later this month against Man City, the UEFA Champions League final. Look, I'd rather sacrifice a FA Cup and win the Champions League because it's the bigger trophy.
Yeah, actually, Nami, just to, I mean, at that level, I don't think like our coach go into games thinking, we are going to play. I mean, we'll get all the way to the final and then we final will sacrifice because we're playing the Champions League final. I don't think it was that clear game. I think just simply Guwine the better team on the day, but I also do not think ukuthi ngoba Chelsea iluzile manje sebezocabanga ukuthi they can't compete in like the Champions League final, playing against the Manchester City side, which they've like beaten, recently for Nagakon. So I think hard luck to Chelsea and with Thomas Tuchel. I know only losing 3 games, only lost 3 games ever since taking charge of Chelsea, where like they were inconsistent under Ulontuza or Frank Lampard. So they've been doing very well, and he's taken them to 2 cup finals, man. So I think Guzagahle lapha Stamford Bridge, but I think they're just unfortunate this past weekend. And also VAR again, decisions not going their way, but story for another day. But on the day, the better team won on the day, Leicester,
So
their first FA Cup final
the very
title,
first
by the way.
FA Cup final, title. So I think they deserve all of it. Congratulations to Leicester City. Speaking of gay, because you want to jump right in it, let's do it. The Champions League. But since we're talking about it, let's do it. Predictions. Chelsea just came back from a defeat. Man City been crowned the EPL champions. They still also have that excitement and all of that celebrating going on. How do you see the Champions League panning out?
Sam, I'm gonna go first because I'm gonna be biased.
I think maybe it's supporting Chelsea, but I think it's really gonna be tough. Umar Bega, I think Manchester City did well this year, bouncing back from the slump that they had, because Inking Ayabo was Manchester City never had a problem like up front, right? Yeah. So bagwazileke manje during like the January and Feb ukuthi bafix all the problems that they had defensively. So manje now they're a solid team, they're a solid team and competing, and coming up against Team Chelsea, which have been, like I said, inconsistent under Frank Lampard, but now slowly starting to regain a form. So it's gonna be a tough one. But
29 May, what's your score?
I think because I'm gonna go with Man City without explaining is it dating, but I'm gonna go with Man City. But like on the day,
No, look, I mean, personally, I think with Thomas Tuchel as Pep's number, he's played him a couple times since he's joined the Chelsea and he's won both games, and I'm expecting his dominance over Pep Guardiola to continue. Yes, I know Pep Guardiola has an imperious record when it comes to finals, but I'm expecting with Thomas Tuchel to roar back and win the Champions League. Remember last season he led the PSG to the Champions League final, but unfortunately he missed out against it by Munich, fine margins. I mean, Bayern Munich won by 1-0, and ironically, it was a former PSG player, you know what I mean, that scored against the PSG in the final, and Kingsley Coman. But this time around, it's easy. It's a winning Chelsea, guys.
Let's
hope you remember. Remember, I told you Chelsea are going through to the final. It's Real Madrid.
I didn't
buy me flowers
anything.
while I can still
Dog,
smell
I didn't say
them,
anything.
bro.
I said that I support you. Like I was backing Chelsea because they're a small team compared to the others that they're playing with. I was like, I want them to be in there. So ukujika kwezinto ke 1 + 1 is 2. 2 + 2 is 4. Quick maths.
Yeah.
The thing goes brah. We had a march the other day, a protest, and then zajika izinto correlation yana.
The correlation now in.
I'm wearing yellow for a reason. I'm wearing yellow. Shout out to everyone here wearing
You
yellow.
never wear yellow.
Trends.
The last time I saw you wearing yellow was like last season where Kabangut's league, but it's Sundowns African. So I mean, I don't know what's going on here.
Okay, let's speak about Gavin Hunt's change of things and the win, the 4-0 victory that has Kaizer Chiefs and all of our fans very hopeful again. Ukuthi yazini mhlambe sizongena kuma semis.
Mina into engayisho ukuthi abantu hope nabalandeli benu ehlisana amaphaphu. I mean Chiefs, we understand the Chiefs iza kahle kwi Champions League nani, but they haven't been doing like well domestically, so but we can't take
I said this last week. I said sometimes you have to show the neighbors how it's done before you do it at home.
I don't think it's that. I honestly don't think it's that, but I think they've been doing well. We CAF Champions League, but domestically they haven't, So a great feat are defeating Simba in the manner in which they did, and I honestly don't think they have a chance. Masigiogi's second leg. I mean, Chiefs played well, Lapana, and they were clinical. Unlike Lamaki, Mabage where coach is always
shout out to Nukovic as well.
Yeah, scoring a brace. Unlike the other games where they get opportunities to score, but then they not clinical enough. But good late game, I think probably wonka matsuba abawatsolile. They converted.
Yeah.
Do you think that maybe let's go back to what you were saying about Chelsea? Uti, their focus is elsewhere, and maybe that's why they're not playing as well. Like locally, Uti, they're gunned for the big trophy.
Yeah. I don't think it's that. I think with Chiefs, I think if you consider Chiefs and I think like South Africa and all the teams that with the DSCV Premiership, they've analyzed the Chiefs and the way that they play. I'm not saying ukuthi la manyama team abadlala nawo ku CAF Champions League bona abayenzi ni research yabo and just do background check on how like the team plays, but I think that's the difference, Lana. Chiefs like all the teams, they know like all their weaknesses and stuff. And so when they compete, we CAF Champions League, I mean, it might be that Lama team agawaz gahle. So that's why they bangatsbani upper hand but as the more that they progress again on the competition, I feel like that's where
You're just
teams
such a
are
Chiefs
many.
basher, darling. You haven't said one good thing about Chiefs ever since I know. Screw you, bruh. Like, screw you.
It's going to be very difficult for them.
Sure. Come this weekend, the second leg of the quarter-finals.
Yeah.
We have Simba against Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah.
What are your predictions?
Yeah, no, Kaizer Chiefs are going through to the semi-finals. I mean, it's job done. I mean, I don't see Simba winning 5-0 against the Kaizer Chiefs. I told you a couple weeks ago, Guti, people are writing off the Kaizer Chiefs as if it's some small club. At the end of the day, those players, they play for one of the biggest clubs in South Africa, you know what I mean? And they showed against Simba, good, listen, we're still the big boys. Yes, things are not really going well this season, but, they did well. The Kaizer Chiefs, it's like... they play better when they are, away from home. There's less pressure. You in an unhappy marriage. You feel better when a side chick. We are chabula. You know what I mean? It's a similar situation with the Kaizer Chiefs. They play better when they're away from home.
Yeah.
There's no pressure. I mean, the Kaizer Chiefs are the biggest club in the country, so there's no pressure from the media, no pressure from the fans on social media.
They're just having fun, dog.
Exactly, they're just having fun, dog. And I feel like the protestants again over the weekend kind of like inspired the Kaizer Chiefs to do better. They felt the pressure, I'm a fans, and it was good to actually see my fans not complaining about the coach Kevin enhanced. They were complaining about the way in which the club as an organization is
being
ran.
run.
Exactly, you know what I mean. But look, Kaizer Chiefs hope at this moment in time. If you through to the semi-finals, I mean, you have to be bullish. You know what I mean. You have to believe. If you believe and you have confidence, if you get your Alali as well as Wydad Casablanca or Esperanza, you can beat them. You know what I mean? Because you've shown you're a big club and you belong there.
So you said something about people being familiar with tactics. So let's talk about the Sundowns against Al Ahly and playing against the former coach.
Yeah.
Was that a big reason or one of the reasons why they didn't perform so well?
Yeah, I mean, it was always going to be difficult if you look at...
Pizza knows everything.
I mean, he said it. In we pre-match conference here, Kugutsi. The Sundowns team, Le Aishia, he built that team to be strong domestically, and then also Umabe Bedlala in the CAF Champions League. So Umusimani assembled like the entire squad. Yabo, he assembled that team and he knows them. Yabo, and manje la Sundowns isuga la going to play Al Ahly. Leguma conditions abo. You know, go Cairo, nan. So Upito manje understand Upito knows Uguba Okotre Sundowns coming from South Africa going to Egypt. You know, manje usehlele Egypt yena olinde abadlala. It's like ulindi nganzako. It's like ulindi nganzako.
Yes.
Yabo. So obviously it was always going to be difficult for Mamelodi Sundowns going there and trying to get a Londoza a victory. So
Samba mabhada coach nje ukuthi kube baba khona namahemhem ukuthi coach ube busy efugilisa.
No, listen, just to add on what Osamkelo is saying, you know, I mean, Upito last week made a statement. He said, I created a monster in Sundowns and they might just come back to bite me. For me, it says that statement says a lot about Tupito Misoman. We all know Guti is a master when it comes to mind games. You know what I mean? And his Sundowns played to his hands. You know what I mean? They fell for the trap. I mean, the reason why I'm saying this, if Ubuga line up Sundowns against Al Ahly, they playing away, bruh.
Yeah.
But those guys were naive. You can't play 4 attacking midfielders. You got a Serino, you got a Mkulisi, you got a who else I saw? But creative players going forward, you know what I mean? Against Al Ahly, if you're playing away, you have to be, cautious, you know, pick your moments, know when to attack, know when to defend, know when to press, know when to, just back off and just absorb the pressure. But the Sundowns, they were naive. They just went their guns blazing. Unfortunately, you're playing on Al Ahly. They're way more experienced than the Sundowns. We have Champions League.
Okay, so looking at it now, maybe in the long run, come June, Sesiguma finals or semi-finals, do you see both Kaizer Chiefs and maybe Sundowns being through? Because, I mean, the 2-0 victory at Al Ahly, do you think that Sundowns going to come back on the second leg?
I think it's over for a Sundowns. I think it's
agree.
over for a Sundowns. Ugube bakorile noma at least 1 goal. It would have gave them, ithuba mhlambe.
Hope.
But not in bed.
Bekuzobanikeza ithuba ethu ukuthi mase bedlala khona eclock up ukuthi mhlawumbe ikhona into bazoyenza, but manje they need to score 3 goals. Al Ahly ngakori, which
that's impossible.
I don't think it is possible.
Guys,
so
I don't know. I feel as if
I think it's over for Sundowns. Plain.
No, I agree with the Samkelo. It's over for Sundowns. I don't see them just, pulling off one of those famous comebacks. You know what I mean? And look, most importantly, Upito Musimani is under pressure. You know, I mean, back in Egypt, people really don't like him. The former players, the legends, they just tearing him apart. You know what I mean? So he needed this victory more than a coach Mangoba Nginzi. While Mangoba Nginzi is wrapping up the league now, like South Africa. So that's going to be like his maiden league title. Because that's the only head coach I recognize.
Don't make.
I mean,
that's facts though.
Just to add on that, the pressure that Musimani is feeling up in Egypt, I think Uma Engaiwini, the Champions League.
Yeah.
Bazomxosha. because manje yabo they're questioning his tactics. Yonke into yabo ayenzayo. But
his back is against the wall.
Yeah,
basically.
but you know. Agiona is style is manje. He's getting the wins, but he hasn't been doing that to the level where they expect. So I think it's the winner, the CAF Champions League for Upito Al Ahly kuzo save umsebenzi wakhe, and I think that's why now it's a bit like emotional land, because you saw the statements that he made after the match.
He said a lot.
He said it, like he said a mouthful. So I think now he knows what's at stake, and it's more better. Boom.
Sure, as much as I'd love for it to go to Pizza again, I'm hoping that we take it. Kaizer Chiefs, don't write us out. Let's talk about Pro 14 Rainbow Cup. Ngathi kube khona nakubhaxabula isibhaxabuliwe Sharks versus Bulls.
Okunzima. I think 43-9 the final score. The Bulls dominant over the Sharks, and I think it's a case of ngathi slow poison. Slow poison, because the match was sort of even in the first half, right?
What went wrong?
But then the Bulls pack, Baba Pulishile into submission, the Sharks, because second half they just couldn't take it, and they were dominant, and
Joe,
they were able to.
Sorry, I was hurt.
And they broke them down, and I think it's red flags really for Sean Everett. And I think Elon Toza, Kuma forwards, Kuma Sharks has always been very question marks since ukuthi akubonakala kahle ukuthi kwenzakalani. Find the style of rugby, the brand of rugby that they play is attractive, but they my forwards abo, when they come up against a really like tough and dominant pack, baba ninking, which is exactly what happened ngale weekend. That's why I said slow poison, because ama Bulls are qale ill, just asserting dominance, and we second half ama Sharks bese cartel, conceding ama penalty yonke leyo nto, and just beba press nje move. So I think Sean Everett and the rest of the technical team really
go
need
back
to
the drawing board.
100%. Look, the Sharks have been winning in a Rainbow Cup, but they haven't really been convincing, you know what I mean? It goes down to just a couple things. One, being disciplined. The Sharks lack that discipline on the day. The Blue Bulls have experience compared to Amasalsi Sharks. Jake White believes in having experienced the players within the team. His pack is very experienced. You look at the key battle between Okelwin Bosch as well as Umone Steyn. You know what I mean? Umone Steyn literally tore Cohen Bosch apart, you know what I mean? That's down to experience. Someone Steyn has played a couple World Cups whereby Cohen Bosch has never really featured for a Springboks match, never mind the World Cup, and it showed on the day, because he basically schooled him, and game management, Yama Vodacom Blue Bulls, they just managed that game properly. You could see Bayaz and Tabayans out. These guys, they're out for blood, and they got that revenge against the South Sea Sharks, because I think last time they met, just down here in Durban at Kings Park Stadium, the Sharks basically dismantled the Mavorico Blue Bulls, and what a way to bounce back. So shout out to Jake White and his team.
It's going to be an interesting rest of the season to exactly see how Sharks redeem themselves. And I'm a Shark for life, so shame is it Klunga's Peli. Can we also just give a huge shout out to Jermaine Cole, because I'm a J. Cole fan and I don't really watch basketball like that, but here this guy is like the busiest guy this weekend, because he dropped an album. And while we're listening to the album now, he's on our screens at the Basketball African League, and he's pursuing what he wants. So like, black man, go for it. And it's not bad. Like do you see, and I laugh because but here is another black man who's just going for his dreams and saying, you know what, and I saw Korile Lapana Lapa Jay with a few impressive dunks. So shout out to J. Cole. Shout out.
Yeah, no shout outs, but for me,
you said
I'm not really convinced. No, I'm not hating. No, listen. Ukoli is one of the best rappers alive. You know what I mean? You know, exactly. He's one of the best rappers alive. But underline rappers. You know, I think you should just stick to what you know best. I don't think basketball is gonna make it.
But he's
NBA.
been a basketball player.
No, you're right, but not professionally though. That's the thing. Imagine coming up Steph Curry, LeBron James. You know,
what if
all
those
the
are not
big
his
players.
goals? Ufuna vele nje ukudlala la, yabo, neintwana, and
Yeah, but I mean, like,
pursue what he wants to do.
But what's the purpose? I mean, if you're playing, I'm assuming you want to be like amongst the best, you know. But he's a good basketball player. I give him that. Even I've seen Future a couple of times, Drake a couple of times, Duncan and
Don't talk about
Flexi.
my husband.
But
Don't bring him to this topic.
but end of the day, those guys are rappers, bro. Just stick to what you know best. That's me personally. That's my opinion.
Okay, Sam. Yeah.
Now, I think, I have to agree with what Ntobeko is saying.
Guys,
I mean,
right.
if you can do.
Laphayana.
Right, smakwazi ukwenza izinto eziningi, yabo, that's fine, but you know.
We'll talk again in a couple of months, okay?
Masekutheke njani.
Mrs. Sibona with a brother man. Safa announces a new sponsor for the Women's League. Shout out to Hollywood Birds. Hopefully we can have them on the show sometime soon to talk about it.
Manifest, baby girl.
Yes. So Hollywood Birds, you guys, I'm inviting you to come here and just tell us more because I'm really excited about this. I think there's going to be a huge change within the league yabantu besifazane. Already it started last week with the Sundowns ladies having their first victory and having it being the first actual match that was sponsored by Hollywood Base. But how do you think lolu shintsho luzo affect mhlawumbe the women's league?
No, it's massive. I think inte ye bola labantu besifazane la South Africa is something that we've been speaking about for isikhathi eside, and belingekho ushintsho olutheni olubonakalayo lenzakalayo. So you know, now with the Hollywood Bets, and shout out to Hollywood Bets, I mean they sponsor angaza amateam amanga.
They're also consistent. Like this is not a paid post, but they are consistent with trying to elevate sports in South Africa.
Yeah, I mean, so shout out to them for jumping on board as well and saying ukuthi nagula esingasiza khona napa abantu besifazane that need to like get amathuba afanayo with men, right? More bigger with the CV Premiership and seeing ukuthi if you compare that to e-league yabantu besifazane, it's like angathi akwenzeki lutho, but we're in the same country, the same SAFA as like the governing body yayo nayo yonke lento, but really bengekho umuntu osefike nemali wathi we're going to invest kube no shintsho and say we're going to invest in women's football and this is what needs to be done. So shout out to them, and kuzoba gqugquzela nabanye even abancane that like want to join and play football and see ukuthi it's something that they can actually make, you know, a career of. Hayi ukuthi kusukela ndlala ibhola neteam yoMamelodi Sundowns or whichever team professional abadlala khona umuntu asuka yogibela itax emva kwalokho. You know, so shout out to Hollywood Bets for jumping on board.
The Hollywood Bets Super League has a ring to it.
Yeah, no, look, you know, massive shout out for your Hollywood Bets for jumping on board. Really, you know, this is massive. You know, for the women's game, it's gonna empower women and young girls who have dreams of actually becoming professional. You know, football players. I mean, last night we saw a Champions League final for the women's game between Chelsea and Barcelona. And Barcelona won 4-0 against Chelsea in a UEFA Champions League final. That was massive, you know what I mean? The hype and the buzz. And now for Hollywood Bets to jump on board, it's giving these young girls an opportunity to maybe one day we're going to be playing, you know, in the Champions League. I mean, we've seen Abu Tembi Khatlane a couple years ago doing it big in a Women's World Cup, you know, in Spain, if not mistaken. I can't remember what's the but, you know, those girls, they had an opportunity. They performed, all of them. They got big moves. Abanye Badlalelo, AC Milan, Rafilio Chane, a couple are playing in Spain, a couple are playing, you know, abroad. So it opened so many doors. So if for Hollywood Bets to actually back the women's game, especially women guys in South Africa, and I mean, there's so many challenges that the women go through. You know, the whole issue of GBV, not getting equal opportunities. So it was massive for Hollywood Bed. So because it means the women are gonna get paid now. You know, they're gonna be more professional. The league is gonna be more professional. There's resources. So a massive shout out.
Shout out to Hollywood Bets one more time. And I can see you already finishing my Jaeger. So let's go straight to the Jaeger game. All right, it's pretty simple. Like game now, as you both have one pass. If I'm going to ask you 3 questions today. Keep it nice and short and sweet. And if you get the question wrong, you have to take a shot, which I know you don't mind doing. So
Facts.
Let me start with Ntobeko. Ooh. Okay, what is the highest speed ever recorded by a Formula 1 car during a Grand Prix?
Pass. Trust me to pass, bro.
Sorry, I did not expect that. Yeah?
It's like mid. It's pass now.
You can't.
Shoot
You can't. Do you want me to repeat the question?
Ooh.
The
Do I get
highest speed
clues
ever
or
recorded.
Okay,
it was by Juan Pablo Montoya in 2005, if I'm saying that correctly.
But 390 kilometers per hour.
No.
Close.
No. Please drink. Drink. Persha. Drink.
I'm actually doing him a favor,
drink.
bro. I'm doing you a favor, bro. I'm looking out for
You're
you,
looking
dog.
for
Never say it.
231.5 meters per hour.
200
31.
Oh.
So you just mixed up the numbers. You said 231, ne? It's 231. No, it's okay. So let me give you an easy one. A South African soccer player who played for Ajax Cape Town and went on to have a successful career in the English Premier League from 2007 to 2010.
Stephen Pienaar.
Yes!
Why is he getting like easy question, bro?
Shay Mutlaga gave me very easy questions today. Okay.
So
No, does not work like that. Dobego, who is the most test-capped Springbok rugby player of all time?
Smith?
Victor Matfield with 127. So please drink.
I don't mind, bro.
I think you guys are getting these wrong. Okay. Which South African swimmer was voted FINA World Swimmer of the Year in 2018? I mean, I'm very good. Uzagwena. You don't need to pass this one. Come on.
Repeat the question.
Omuphi iswimmer la eMzansi yayivotelwe iFINA, the FINA World Swimmer of the Year ku-2018.
Ngiyakhumbula igama kodwa
Hawu mfethu qakhe iswimmer nje yala eMzansi. Yona le
pass.
From Vake?
No.
Chad.
Oh!
Literally. Is this your last question? Is this your last question?
There's one more remaining.
Okay. True or false? This is an easy one. Skateboarding was due to make its Olympic debut in Tokyo in 2020.
No, that's Sam.
That's you, dog.
Huh?
That's you.
Please repeat the
you.
question. I'm not even...
True or false? This one you must just guess, Chief. Skateboarding
Easy. It's very easy.
was meant to make its debut yayo kuma Olympics in Tokyo in 2020.
False.
Drink. You knew that was true though. Alongside karate, surfing, and spot climbing.
But my question is, why so late? Only in 2020.
Right? That's my thing as
only
well.
in 2020.
I never win this game, bruh. Maybe I like the Jaeger.
All right. Let me.
Sanguinary.
This is your last. This is your last question.
How?
If you win this, you've won.
If I get this
No,
one
even
correct.
if you get this wrong, actually, you've
I
won.
win. Yeah.
But
But
all
it's gonna
right,
get it wrong.
cool.
No.
Who was the first South African to win a major individual CAF soccer award?
The first South African?
To win a major individual CAF soccer award. I'll send him my pass, Chief.
The first South African angazi man.
I
You
know.
want to take a guess?
Clive Parker.
No, Koma Clow.
Hey,
Great job, Amajota.
gang.
Since you won Untitled Sports, you get to choose first which gift you want. So these are both handbags from Jaeger.
Away.
This is a cooler, and this is like a Fenny like pack. What? Ketale?
I definitely pick this one.
I drank up, bro.
Definitely. No, you did not.
You did.
No, I drank up. No,
you
when
did
am I
drink.
lose? Because you got the last one wrong.
Oh yes.
Oh, I definitely picked this one.
Okay, so there you go. Thank you so much. Guys, the villa you told my gift.
When you call it a gift, beggars can't be choosers.
Thank you so much for tuning in another episode of Youff Sportz. Make sure that you follow us on the gram. It's at Youff Sportz with a Z. I am at Hope_Mbele. Their handles really don't matter. You don't want to see their faces.
It's Sports and Cheetah on Insta and on Twitter.
Twitter, Instagram.
All right, coolio. We'll be back next week as well. Make sure that you drop your thoughts on the comments and share and subscribe to our page. Shops and Shosholo.
Spila kamnandi eThekwini Nika bayiphuze ekhemisi Umjida amechecka kaloku stress Liquid fruit netennis Geva ngeenyawo itennis Skele msephosa ungaba snaka Uzophenduka isekisi Yona ziyamunca eThekwini Kwaze kamnandi eThekwini Kwaze kamnandi eThekwini Kwaze kamnandi eThekwini Kwaze kamnandi eThekwini Hlelo bewasho ubhekile Umuntu kumasho